Let's be real, Apple has spent years trying to convince us that the iPad is more like a computer, and it can be a computer. There's been split view, there's been Stage Manager, and an external display support, but it always felt like a compromise, and you wouldn't actually want to use this as an iPad replacement. But now with iPadOS 26, everything finally clicks. There's a new multitasking system, this all-new liquid glass redesign, the redesigned system elements, and this update truly brings the iPad closer than ever to actually being a true laptop alternative. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything that is new in iPadOS 26 and explain why it actually changes the iPad for the better. So let's start off with the most noticeable thing, which is going to be the UI. iPadOS 26 features the gorgeous liquid glass redesign that's coming to every other Apple product. So if you're unaware, think of blurred layers, soft gradients, and a more dynamic sense of depth. So kind of like skeuomorphism, but like magnifying glass. It makes everything look and feel lighter, and it's consistent across Apple's ecosystem, matching what we've seen in iOS 26, macOS Tahoe, and even visionOS 26. So you'll notice it on the lock screen, in the control center, and even in how windows float above the wallpaper. It's subtle, but it elevates the experience so much, and it just looks nicer, and I'm here for this redesign. But there's now actually true windowing support, and this is where things actually change for the better. And this is the big one, windowing. And no, it's not just Stage Manager, just rebranded. Apple actually is giving us the ability to freely resize, move, minimize, close windows just like you can on macOS. You get the traffic light where you can, close the app, minimize the app, full screen the app. And if you want two overlapping apps in any layout, you can now do that. If you want a floating notes window with a top of your Safari, go for it. You can do it. There's even an all-new Exposé style that shows all the open windows with a swipe. And it's supported across all iPads. And when I say all, every iPad that gets iPadOS 26. So if you're an iPad mini lover like I've become, don't worry, you're now getting Stage Manager, Windows support, and everything. You're an iPad A16 user, don't worry, you're getting it. You're an iPad 10th generation user, you are getting it. You're not getting left out because, you didn't buy the Pro or the Air or the best iPad. Apple is finally closing the gap. But there's still a reason to have an iPad, and there's still a reason to have a Mac. And I'm all here for this change because as an iPad mini user, one of my biggest complaints was giving up Stage Manager. I use that all the time on my iPad Air, and I had to give it up. But honestly, I was okay with giving it up. And now that I'm getting it back, I could not be more excited. And hey, you're making me want to use my iPad more. Now, there's also a new menu bar and a dock improvements. So if you now swipe down, you actually get a persistent menu bar. Yup, just like the Mac. So it'll say the app, it holds context menus, windows, controls, and app-specific options. And it's very clean and familiar if you're a Mac user, but also very helpful if you have a keyboard and trackpad connected to your iPad. And as for the dock, it got smarter too. You can now pin folders from the Files app directly to it. And this makes the iPad feel even more like a desktop because now it looks just like your Mac. You can now organize your apps and documents side by side as well, right there on your dock. And this is just so cool. And now for customization. Right now, you can change your app icons to be light, dark, or tinted. Apple is, of course, bringing those clear liquid glass icons to your iPad as well as the light mode tinted, so you are truly in control of how your iPad looks. You can place apps anywhere. You can make your iPad yours. And this is probably the first time in a while I feel like the iPad has gotten the much needed love that it's needed, because I feel like in the past it's just been like, oh yeah, here's some iOS features a year later. Oh, here's the other ones you were missing. Now it's just, we're gonna bring the iPad forward in a way that the iPad really needs. And if you combine all of this with the new UI, the iPad finally feels yours. It's unique to you, it can be set up how you want, and I'm all here for it. Now, as I mentioned, the iPad is kind of becoming a Mac, and we can pin files now, and now the Preview app is available on your iPad, so you can now annotate PDFs, sign documents, and edit images with the Apple Pencil. And the Journal app also comes to the iPad, so now it's not an overlooked feature, it becomes more of a productivity tool, especially if you want to use it with the new mood tracking widgets and tie it into your Apple Health. Now, who is this for? This is honestly for anyone who wants to use the iPad to its fullest ability. If you're a student, a teacher, a designer, or someone who just doesn't need a full-blown Mac, now you have a great option, and this changes how the iPad can actually be useful. Now, you still won't get, Final Cut Pro level freedom on all models, But for 90% of your workflow, this is the moment the iPad became a computer. So let me know in the comment down below what you think iPadOS 26 is and what you've been waiting for, or is there still something majorly missing that's the final piece to allow you to use this? Let me know in the comment down below, and while you're down there, if you want to hit like and subscribe, I'd appreciate that as well. And I want you to remember that today is a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.